Welcome to Papa JoeJoe Anytime, Anywhere. I am your host, the grumpy Papa JoeJoe. And today we are just going to talk and tell stories. I am going to tell you a little bit about myself, but most of all, I am also going to tell you that I am doing this for therapy, for myself. I just wanted to do a so-called podcast just to talk about uh, who I am, why I'm doing this little at a time. I just feel like there's a lot of people that might want to hear this or may not want to hear this, but I just want y'all to understand that this is mainly for me. But if I could help somebody uh, to I don't know, to help y'all understand what's going on or what y'all are going through in life, or maybe y'all need to make a decision in life or whatever you need uh, to do or to move forward or uh, whatever you feel you're going through. Maybe you figure out that you're not going through it alone, that a lot of people are going through the same thing or have gone through the same thing. Uh, First of all, I will say that I was born and raised in a small town. Uh, I think population was under 5,000 at that time. It was back in 1963 when I was born. Uh, I was born with an illness. Well, there wasn't well, I don't know. It was an illness. I had pneumonia on both sides of my lungs. I was supposed to die within a few days. Uh, I didn't know this till I was maybe, I don't know, 15, 16 years old that my mom told me, uh, I would say most of the story because I didn't know all the story about it. Uh, I was born, like I said, with pneumonia on both sides of my lungs. I still have scars on my lungs today. Um, I'm 63 years old, and I have gone and seen many things in my lifetime. Uh, and they told my mom that I would not make it maybe, I think, a few days. So my mom, of course, was heartbroken. Uh, Not only because, of course, because I was her son, but I was the second son. And she had an older son, which was my older brother. And then she had six girls, and then me. So I was the second son of after having six girls. So I don't know if some of y'all could relate, but you could imagine trying to have another son after having quite a few girls. So anyway, my mom was telling me the story when I was younger, when I got, I think I was like 15, maybe 14, 15 years old. I was a freshman in high school or sophomore. Yeah, about freshman in high school. And she was telling me about this. And I asked her, I said, what happened to me? I know I was sick. I know I was in the hospital. I had stayed in the hospital for 9 months when I was born. And the doctors were doing all kinds of research on me back in 63. They didn't know what to do. They didn't understand how I lived longer than what I was supposed to. So they were trying so many different things. I mean, I don't know. My mom said that I got shots. I guess you could say experimented on. I don't know exactly everything that had happened. I just know what my mom told me that she said she went to the church and that sat down. I mean, she kneeled and she prayed to God that if you want him, take him. And but if you left him, that she would take care of me, and and that she would, you know, raise me, as she did her other kids the right way, and she did. I mean, my mom was an awesome woman. My dad was an awesome man. So yeah, they did they did awesome. I mean, they ended up having another girl and another boy. So I ended up growing up with seven girls and two other brothers. We were seven girls and three boys. But anyway, the story goes, I was sick for 9 months in the hospital. The doctor would joke with my mom and say, "Come on, you have so many kids. Let me have this one. Let me take him home and I'll take care of him." And I guess he was so attached to me, but they would joke around when my mom, he really loved my mom and my dad. Uh, so the story goes that I was I was touch and go for quite a few months, and I was kind of I was real ill. I was real sick. If I recall, I remember it was in 9 months or a few months. I mean, this many years ago, but anyway, there was a phone call that my mom got one morning, and I had been sick off and on, and she thought that I hadn't drank from the bottle, I hadn't done anything. Everything was through tubes, obviously. I hadn't eaten, I hadn't drank anything, I hadn't done anything that a baby would have done for, I think, so many weeks. I think maybe it was 9 weeks. I don't know. I mean, it was months that I hadn't drank anything for quite a long time. And my mom was very worried, my dad and everything. So my aunt went to go stay with me that morning because my mom had been with me all night. And so she said, go ahead. So, and I was at the hospital, uh, obviously. And then, my aunt calls my mom early that morning, and my mom thought it was the phone call of that it was time, that it was, the doctor had told her make arrangements, make sure you get ready that to expect the worst, make funeral arrangements and, just be prepared because I don't think your son is gonna make it, you know. So my aunt called my mom and and my mom when she answered the phone, she told my mom, "Okay, well, what time was it that he left us? I mean, I don't know if I can go back to the hospital and see my boy like that." Well, my aunt, which is my dad's sister, was there, and she told my mom, "No, everything has turned around. He is laying there and he is drinking from the bottle." And my mom was like, "Don't, don't, don't play with me, so to speak." I don't know exactly the words, but she was like, "What? What do you mean?" Yeah, don't play with me like that. So she told her that I was drinking from the bottle. So my mom right away, hey, I gotta get to the hospital. So we got to the hospital. In the small town, where I grew up in had a small hospital. It wasn't too far away from where we lived. So uh she got in the car, she got the kids and we rushed to the hospital. She rushed to the hospital and she uh she got me there. I mean, she got all of us there. I was already there, obviously. She got me there and she got the kids there and she walked in and she saw me. And there I was, she said. She told me that I was drinking from the bottle. First time in so many weeks and months that I started drinking from the bottle. And then from there on, I started drinking, and I started just getting better. And but the pneumonia had had left. The scars were there on the lungs. I still have them to this day, but the scars were there in the lungs where I had pneumonia. And but the pneumonia was gone. The doctors didn't know what happened, I mean, even through the medications that they were giving me, I was so tiny, I was so, uh, uh, I was a baby. I mean, I was an infant. They didn't understand how I made it through it. It was a miracle to them. I was a miracle baby that I actually made it through. So, my mom, of course, prayed and she told me that, you know, that through that time she had promised God that she was going to take care of me. And like I said, she did. She promised me, she promised God, and she told me that she promised and she was going to take care of me. And that's just part, that's just how I came into this world. And that was because in my mom's eyes, we weren't supposed to, I wasn't supposed to be part of her life. She lived to be 90 years old. Uh, and she was, man, I mean, to everybody, uh, I should hope that your mom is the best mom ever. If you have a mom and you think she's rough on you or she's tough on you, I want you to understand something. It's not because she hates you or because she wants to be in your life and mess up your life and mess up your dreams and your hopes. It's nothing about that. It's because she does want the best for you, but she also wants you to be careful and to be safe. She does not want anybody to hurt you. She does not want anybody to harm you in any way. She just wants you to have the best of everything. Sometimes parents can't give you the best of everything, at least in their eyes. But you have to understand something. Just our moms and dads giving us life is the best of everything. I don't know why we get, I don't know, the assumption or the idea that moms and dads have to give us everything that we ask for us to say that they're the best mom or best dad ever. Sometimes giving you everything is the worst thing a parent can do. But sometimes just giving you discipline, responsibility, respect, and teaching you how to just treat people in those three things and be responsible for your actions and understand that for every action there's a reaction, right? That's that's a great mom and a great dad, or the best mom and the best dad. So my mom and dad did the best they could for me, raising me. Oh, there was bumps in the road, believe me. I mean, with 10 kids, yeah, my mom had it tough, but she was there. She was. My dad was a hard worker. My dad, you know, my dad was a rancher. He worked in the fields. Um, He also worked in the farmer rancher, and then he all worked in the oil field, right? So yeah, he did a lot of things. At the end, he ended up working 40 years in the oil field, and he retired. Uh, did the best he could, and he and the best was pretty damn awesome. My mom worked at the school. Uh, she worked at the cafeteria. It was awesome at times, but it was also a burden. I say I laugh because my seventh and eighth grade, where she worked at in junior high, as we called it, which was seventh and eighth grade, I had to get up early because my mom had to be there early. Uh, so I was there at 6 o'clock in the morning, right? 6:30. So I was there and I would go to sleep in the cafeteria and waiting for my first class or doing my homework. So I always knew that was the good part about it. So I always knew that. Hey, but that's another story. But anyway, growing up with so many siblings was it was fun and it was tragic in a good way and in a bad way. I mean, it was a lot of fun, but it was also a lot of adventures and a lot of problems and trouble that I would get into or that they put me into. But that's siblings, right? Especially sisters. One thing we did not do was hit the girls. That was the number one rule. Anything happened between the girls and the boys, my dad, we had to tell our dad or our mom, and then mom and dad would take care of it. For the most part, we were always outside, right? I mean, we grew up outside. We grew up in a small town. Like I said, everybody knew everybody. Uh, I grew up going to first grade, and I would tell you I hated school. I did not want to go to school. The first day of school, I ran out of school and I ran to the car. I did not want to stay in the car. In the school. So they had to bring me back in, and I was crying and I was yelling, and I did not want to stay in school. So I went through first grade. I remember some of the times before that, being I don't know 5 years old, 3, 4, 5 years old. And I don't remember too much, but I remember my dad taking care of us here and there, my mom, and but I do remember going to first grade. First grade wasn't bad. It was pretty good. But my first couple days, I did not want to be there. I would get into school, and my mom would wait for me because she knew I was gonna run out. Eventually, you know, my first grade teacher, she was awesome. She was pretty good, and I finally got to get to stay there, and it's like any 6-year-old. I was I got used to it. So anyway, I went through first grade, and it wasn't bad. First grade was a year to remember, not just for me, but for first grade in our grade school in that type of we had first, second, third, and fourth grades all together. Kinder, I think I don't remember kinder, but I think they had it all to the side. Wow. First, second, third, and fourth was in one big building all together. We all had our classes and stuff like that. We had our homeroom, and I was the one teacher that taught us all everything, right? So we would go to the cafeteria, we'd eat, we mingled outside in the breaks and then in the and lunchtime and free time and all that other stuff. We would do all that stuff. So the months passed, and we were about 2 months out, maybe a little bit more, about 2.5 months out, give or take. Well, my teacher, and I was doing well. I was actually pretty good. I was actually a pretty good student. I had nothing but A's. I was reading. I needed help when reading. I never understood why until later years. Uh, so anyway, I got to the point to where I didn't know what was wrong with me. I was always kind of tired. I was sick. Uh, so one day the home teacher calls my mom and tells her that I had been just falling asleep and not listening too well, and that was very odd of me because I was pretty good in math, English, science, whatever. All the subjects I was good, I was always there. I was always right there. So she said, maybe and his eyes look yellow. I didn't know what that meant. So and most of y'all probably already know, when your eyes are yellow, you know that there's something wrong, right? Well, they found out that I had that I had that when the doctor found out, uh most of y'all probably already figured out that we had hepatitis. I had the worst hepatitis one could have. I'm not sure which one it was, but it was the one where I was put in the hospital, and I was in the hospital for the last little over 2 months of first grade. Yes, I finished my first grade, and everybody kept saying, "Man, he's gonna have to repeat first grade. He's gonna have to do everything again." And I didn't even think about that. I was so sick. I was very thin at the time. I can't say I'm very thin now. I'm not huge, but I'm not. I'm not as thin as I used to be back in the days. But I will say that uh, I bulked up a little bit, but I will say that I was very skinny guy. I was very, very, you know, always running, always doing something, active little kid. So started losing a lot of weight. I didn't want to eat. So they found out I had hepatitis, and so I got every morning I was getting shots. And man, was that hurting me. And I close my eyes sometimes and I can see them holding me down and giving me a shot every single morning for about 2 months, maybe a little more. But I remember my teacher coming over after class and seeing me and visiting me and talking to me and asking me questions about class, and I would answer. And I was so happy that she'd come over, and my mom and dad were real appreciated about that. And but the hardest part were some of the friends that I had made started, I guess, I don't want to say hate. Maybe, I guess back then we didn't really understand what the word hate, maybe we did, but they disliked me strongly. Keep in mind, I was only 6 years old, and everybody from first to fourth grade had to get a hepatitis shot because of me. they had to get a shot to prevent hepatitis because that hepatitis that I had spread. It spread easily. So they had to get that shot so they wouldn't get sick like I did. And as I grew older, some of the kids would tell me, "I remember you. I remember I had to get a shot because of you, and I never wanted to talk to you again." And some of them took it to heart. They didn't talk to me, you know. And I didn't know what to do. I was a young kid, I wasn't really strong. I didn't fight. I didn't like wasn't that person. I wasn't that kind of kid. I wasn't. My mom and dad took care of us. My dad was, like I said, by the time we knew he was an oil field worker, so we didn't. There wasn't violence in our home. And I'm not saying there wasn't any arguments because there was, but there wasn't any. It wasn't a perfect you know little I don't know, in my time, Leave It to Beaver type of house where everything was perfect. No, it wasn't like that, or it wasn't an I Love Lucy episode where everything was perfect at the end of the day, because not everything is perfect in life. So yeah, everybody had to get a shot, right? And I wasn't raised to fight. I was raised to just walk away from any incident, but we never thought about it. Well, I never thought about it as a kid. So everybody got shots. Everybody got, and so a lot of them got mad at me. A lot of them were like, "Hey, it's okay. It's not like you got sick on purpose. It's not like you got it on purpose. It could have been one of us. It could have been somebody else." But some of them just took it different. You know, there was nothing that we could do. And nothing I could do. I mean, I got sick. What am I supposed to do? So anyway, so that was in first grade. That happened in first grade. That happened to me. I was 6 years old. I was in hospital for about 2 months, maybe a little bit more. By the time I got out of the hospital, I was. It was hard for me to walk. It was, I had to. I didn't have to learn how to walk per se, but had to really uh, force myself to walk, because it affected a lot of my legs. So the doctor told me playing was going to be hard for me because because they didn't know it affected a lot of things. I guess when I was born, I was sick and different things that had happened to me. Maybe with everything going on, there was something wrong supposedly with my legs, right? So I was like, no, I mean, I'm okay. I can still run, and they told me that I would be okay, but I probably won't be able to play sports or play, too much. And I was like, no, I want to play baseball. I want to do something. So my mom and dad were like, you got to be careful. I said, no, I want to play baseball. So my dad was one that told me that, I want you to play, but I don't want you to play. And I was like, no, I'm gonna go. I want to play. So anyway, I just kind of like got to the point to where I got out of the hospital. I came home. It was the summer, and I couldn't go outside for a while. So my summer in between first and second grade were, as you know, wasn't all that great. Because I was inside all the time. I go in outside off and on, but not as much. So second grade came. Uh, when and it's same thing. I hated. You want to? I ran out of the class. I ran out of class, and that's where I met my best friend. One of my the best friend that stuck with me all the way through high school. And he always used to tell me, when I saw you crying and I saw you running out of class, I said, I need to take care of this guy. He became my best friend, and I tell you what, him and I hung out. He did what he said. He took care of me. I mean, he was like my protector, I guess. He was just a good person. He was uh we played ball together. We played basketball, baseball, football, ran track, played tennis. Uh it was just one of those things that we hung out a lot everywhere. We worked in the same place together. We as we got older, he worked different department. I worked a different department, grocery stores. But it just happened that we had a we had a best friend bond. I mean, it was just one of those things, one that you really don't get too often to many people. But anyway, that was second. That was what happened in second grade. I'm getting a little far, but a little bit of myself. But uh, there's just so many things, that can happen. But then again, like I said, I am 63 years old. I don't know, getting off subject. I'm not gonna say that this story is gonna help anybody because I don't know if it's about helping people, but it's helping me. I needed to find something to help me. Grumpy Papa JoeJoe, that's what I call this channel. Well, so I called the YouTube channel. Papa JoeJoe Anytime, Anywhere. It's a podcast. I told my family, my son, and my wife that I wanted to do a podcast. I didn't want to show my face, not as yet, but I just want to talk. I feel that if I talk, this therapy would, for me, and I'm not talking for you, I'm not a therapist, I'm not anything, but I call this my therapy. So don't get me wrong. Don't start talking about, I'm not a therapist. I'm not a therapist. I know I'm not. But for me, I found something that I wanted to do. And I tell y'all, find something that makes you feel better. Don't listen to people of what you can and cannot do to a point. Something that's okay for you. It's something that's not a bad for you or a bad thing for you. Find something that's going to make you feel better. Heck, if you want to talk about something, then talk about it. You don't have to make a YouTube channel. Just record yourself or just talk to yourself. I mean, it doesn't matter. You don't have to do it in front of anybody. I just feel that if maybe somebody hears this, maybe they'll realize that they're not the only ones thinking the same way. Maybe they'll say, "Man, did you hear about Papa JoJo anytime, anywhere?" I feel the same way. Maybe I need to do that. Then do it. Don't let anybody stop what you want to do. My story about growing up, about not so much growing up, about being born with pneumonia on both sides of my lungs. For me, it was very fascinating when my mom was telling me because my mom teared up, I was tearing up, and I didn't know about it. I had heard, she told me things, you almost died when you were born, but I never knew the in depth of what the doctors did or what the doctors were doing to me. It's shots every day, taking samples every day, trying to figure out why I was born with pneumonia. My mom was healthy. My mom didn't smoke. My mom didn't drink. My dad never drank. Uh, he smoked, um, but during my mom's pregnancy, he was always cautious, smoked outside. He was always outside. I mean, it was, she was always trying to figure out, right? So it wasn't, like I said, I'm freshman year, 14, 15 years old. I asked her, what happened? So she told me, we were sitting down, and I remember I think it was Saturday or Sunday. And we're sitting down on the kitchen table, and I was sitting down with her, and I was asking her, and I said, "Mom, what happened to me?" And that's when she told me the story. So I'm just telling you. I mean, it's just little things. I wish I could have asked my mom and dad a lot more things about our past or about our our tree line family tree, because there's so many things that I want to know. From what I understand, the mom's Mexican Italian, my dad Spaniard Indian, and I don't I am named after my grandfather that I never met, and he was passed away before I was born. Uh, I don't know I know a lot about my family, but I wish I would have I could know more. Just like I wish I'd know more about what happened to me when I was born. So the past few years I've been telling my son and my wife I want to do a podcast. I just want to talk to in a mic, and I just want to talk about everyday life. I want to talk about sports. I want to talk about fishing. I want to talk about um the crazy stuff that that's happening, in the world. People are gonna hate you, people are gonna love you, people are gonna despise you. You gotta just move on. But I also want to talk about people that have options. Uh, you you can't dismiss things that are happening to you right now because you feel that it's the right thing or the wrong thing, or you don't know if it's the right thing or the wrong thing to do. If you have an option that you can do right now, then do it. I mean, write your pros and cons down. That's the old saying with, write why you should do it and then write why you shouldn't do it. And if the why you should do it overcomes the why not you shouldn't do it, then you have yourself at least a good answer of why you should do it. And if the why not overcomes the why you should do it, then you have a good answer of why maybe you shouldn't do it. I mean, I want to talk about sales. I mean, I used to be a salesman, right? When I got out of the military, I started selling. I'm a United States Army retired. I'm retired from the Army. Uh, so yeah, I'm a disabled veteran. So there's a lot of little things that that I've done and that I've seen and heard and gone through in my lifetime. But my thing is just about talking about life in general. And that little piece that I talked about, just how I was born, how I came into this world, and how my mom and dad really worked hard to take care of all of us. Only just all of us. I wasn't the the most, how you say it, I was respectable, believe me. Oh, believe me. Dad said don't do it. Mom said don't do it. But I think mom was the one that spanked us a little bit more. And I say spanked us because we did get spanked. But dad spanked me like twice my whole life. Because after the second time, I realized I do not want to get spanked by this man. So I am going to do what has to be done the right way. So yeah, and I was young, so I kind of figured that out real quick, fast, quick, and in a hurry as I was taught. So yeah. So we were like, nope, that's it. I was like, nope, I'm good. I'm good. So mom didn't have too much problem with me. She, I wasn't a problem child, but I kind of, come on, mom, please, And we were the type that, hey, dad, can we go to the movies? I don't know. Ask your mom. As soon as he said that, it was like, just forget it. Let's go outside and play. We were the ones that played outside. We were the ones that had a good time, and we played and we laughed, and we it wasn't one of those that we argued with mom and or dad, and it was just like, hey, can we have this? No. I mean, let's put it this way. I mean, going to the Dairy Queen once every 2, 3 months was a treat for us. That was like, wow, getting back in dad's pickup. And I don't mean in the back, I mean in the back of the bed of the pickup. Everybody gets in the back of the pickup, and we were boom going down Country Road and going down to Dairy Queen, and that was like, wow, we're going to Dairy Queen, and we munch out on that DQ and ice cream and had a fun time. Right? But getting back to why I'm doing this for me, yes. But if I can help one person out there, and then I don't just want to help one person. If I can help a lot of people, that'd be great. But if I can help one person to understand that you matter, everybody matters, and you need to understand that. And no matter what's happening in your life, you have to understand that you are important. And if you have something to say, then you need to tell him or her, your mom, your dad, your aunt, your uncle, your children, your daughter, your son. You need to let them know. Because as I always tell my son or my daughter or even my wife, I am not a mind reader. She tells me the same thing. I do not know what you're thinking. I do at times, but not all the time. So we in general are not mind readers. We kind of feel. I know moms are good at it. Moms know. Moms know when you're sick. Moms know when you're hungry. Mom knows when you're lying. And they're just good at it. But I'm telling you, find something. Find someone. Because you only have one chance at life. And I tell you, in the baseball term here, life throws you curves. Sometimes it's going to throw you ups and down. Sometimes it's going to throw you a fastball. And sometimes, my friend, you're going to swing and you're going to miss 9 times out of 10. If you ask any athlete that is champion, you know, ask ask the man that hit the most home runs how many strikeouts he has, and he probably has more strikeouts than anybody in baseball. Ask the man who has the most hits, he probably has just as many strikeouts. Because to succeed is to fail. Remember that. I have failed in so many things, but I have succeeded in so many other things. There's no success and then watching your children grow up and be something that you raised them the right way and that they want it to be. Something they want it to be, not something you wanted them to be. But your children are not your life. They're your life in your heart, yes. But their life is theirs, and your life is yours. And I say this because so many of us seem to think that if we don't tell our children what they have to do, even if they're adults, we don't tell them what to do. No, the more you tell somebody that they have to do this or that, sometimes they just kind of fade away from you or walk away from you. And I don't mean fade like disappear. I mean fade in where they don't want to hear what you have to say of what they need to do. Sometimes they just want you to listen to them. But there's so many things that we can talk about or I can talk to you about. And there's so many things that I want to talk about. And I will. And I will be coming back on a bi-weekly or weekly. I'm not sure how I want to do Papa JoeJoe anytime, anywhere. Uh, but I'm gonna see if I'm gonna do it twice a week or maybe three times a week or maybe once a week. I'm not sure yet. But I just want y'all to understand that this is not just something that that I just brought up yesterday and thought, you know what, I'm gonna do this today. No, this is something I've been thinking about for years. And I'm not talking 2, 3 years, probably 5, 6, 7 years that I've been talking to my son and my wife about. And my wife finally got me this mic, real nice mic, and a small computer so that I can talk into uh, these apps that happen. I'm not very computer literate, but my wife is awesome at it. She has been the heart of my success the past 23 years. And, you know, that's just another story, but uh, she really helps me out a lot. And, I just want y'all to understand that sometimes when you want to do something, you just have to get off your ass and do it. That's just, straight up talk from a grumpy Papa Jojo that needs to tell you what you need to do because sometimes you just need to be told that, just like I needed to be told that. And this is why I I wanted to do this so that I can reflect on some of the things that I've done in the past and talk about it. And it helps me. It helps me a lot. And I don't know why talking about things help, but it does. So if you have any questions or if you have any comments that you want to, put down, uh, just make a comment. You got anything you want to talk about? You want me to talk about? Make a comment on there. Uh, I will, I will definitely put it in the comments. Read the comments obviously, but I would definitely try to talk about what you want to hear about if I have any experience on it. Uh, I don't have experience on every single thing in life, but at 63 years old, I've seen a lot, done a lot, and heard a lot. So yeah, I mean, and we can talk about. I mean, we can talk about things that are going on. Uh, some people may not like what I have to say, but hey, that's life, right? I mean, if we all liked everything, everybody, man, we'd all be the same person. That's what makes us different. I mean, I don't think everybody likes the color blue. I don't think everybody likes the color green or red. I mean, everybody has their favorite of each thing or each person or each song or whatever. This is what I like to do. This is what I enjoy doing. Now, this is what I've started doing. So, like I said, if you have anything else you'd like for me to talk about, comment, and I'll be glad to talk about it. But this is my story right now. This is the first part of my story. I don't know, if it interests you, that's awesome. If it makes sense to you, you might have the same type of story, how you grew up. Hey, comment on it. I mean, I've gone through a lot. I mean, this is just part of it. And the way I was when I was born, my first grade, having hepatitis. Uh, I still go through that because hepatitis does stay in your system, so you have to tell the doctor all the time, even though I'm cured from it. You still got to tell the doctor what's going on. Every time they show X-rays on me, I got to tell them that I have the two scars because of the way I was born with pneumonia, two scar, with pneumonia at both sides of my lungs. Uh, so yeah, there's a lot of explaining to do when I when I do that. And the worst part is that hospital I was in burned down with everything in it back in the day. Uh, when it burned down, everything burned with it. That was back then when they had everything in paper. I don't know. That's crazy, right? All the records. Wow. And it was a small hospital, but what do you do? There's nothing you can do, you know. And I went to the hospital quite a few times after baseball. After I started, I even played baseball, but that's another story. But like I said, if you have comments, just please just let me know. Let me know. Anyway, so once again, this is a cup of JoeJoe. Anytime, anywhere, with old grumpy Papa JoeJoe. Yeah, that's me. So that's one of the stories that I have. That's one of the stories. Don't hesitate to do what you want to do. I'm not saying it's gonna be perfect because it's not. Remember, success means lots of failures. But if you're not having any faults, then you're not trying. I always tell people the people that don't have any faults is because they have never tried anything in their life. Push through it. Make things happen. I always told my son and my wife and my daughter, I would make it happen. If you want something done, you gotta make it happen. So make it happen. Not just for you, not just for just for show, but for truly because you want it to. So make it happen. Don't don't do anything that you think is just because, oh, you know what, I think, no, don't just half-ass anything. They used to be in sales, we used to say, if you know, you gotta make a plan and then work your plan. So you can't just go out there and just half-ass anything. You gotta go out there and do everything 100%. And you gotta work at it. Things aren't gonna come easy. Because if they were, everybody be doing it. And I'm sure you've heard that. But hey, that's my story on when I was born. Like I said once again. So I'm telling y'all, please do not think that you're the only one that has had hard hard hardship or lived a hard life or whatever. I mean, Mine started at birth, and it kept going for a while. And it has its ups and downs. It comes and goes. Even in this marriage, I've had, my wife and I've had our ups and downs, but we stayed strong and we worked through it. She always tells me I have that one saying, "Hey, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out." It's my way of saying that we'll make it happen. Yeah, and we'll figure it out. So figure it out, people. Be good to yourself. Love yourself and be honest with yourself. If you can remember that, you can go a long ways. It took me a while to realize that. And trust the people that trust you. Get away from negativity. Get away from the people that don't trust you because those are the people that are wolves. All they want to do is just tear up your life. Like get get to the get to the people that want to help you. Find the help. There's people out there that want to help you. You don't know where but they're out there. Listen to yourself. Listen to your heart. Make sure that wherever you go and whatever you do, you love yourself, you're honest to yourself, and you listen to yourself. It's not going to be easy. And quit the bad stuff. Quit lying to yourself that everything's going to be fine if you're doing the same thing over and over again. Role of idiocracy, you're doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Sometimes you got to change. You may not want to. People are afraid to change. I know, because I went through that. And sometimes, this is the heartbreaking of everything, the worst part of everything. And to believe is that family is the worst of all, because sometimes those are the people that hold you back more than anything else. The jealousy, the lies. And I talk from experience. But we'll get into that on some other podcasts of how things go around with family, how things go and what they do to just manipulate you or just say things that aren't true. And you just want to believe that they're there for you. And sometimes they're not. But anyway, you have to, like I said, believe in yourself, be honest with yourself, and love yourself. And you can go a long ways. So this is Grumpy Papa Jojo for Papa Jojo anytime, anywhere. So join me on my next podcast. And I'll talk to you later. As always, find a way. We will. And you will too. Until next time, love y'all.